In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most compassionate, peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon you all. The ninth International Conference on Water Resources and Arid Environments organizers and all participants extend their deep gratitude and appreciation to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, for his kind patronage of this conference and for the considerable efforts he and the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Muhammad bin Salman bin Abdulaziz, make to bring about radical change and holistic developments at all national levels in the kingdom, and for the keen interest in supporting research centers, universities, and sponsoring their scientific events for their paramount importance in realizing the objectives of Saudi Arabia Vision 2030. High hopes are placed on this vision to support, promote, and advance scientific research at all levels in Saudi Arabia. This conference is co-organized by King Saud University, represented by Prince Sultan Institute for Environment, Water and Desert Research, Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz International Prize for Water, and the Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz Al Saud Foundation and Ministry of Environment, Water and Agriculture. The organizers are pleased to welcome all participants from all over the world in this virtual meeting due to the circumstances imposed by COVID-19 pandemic. We hope nothing but this pandemic will be over soon and meet you in person in the forthcoming events at King Saud University. And we also hope that this conference will contribute with innovative innovations made by an elite group of world scientists in addition to their latest research and scientific production to the prosperity and welfare of the humanity. We will start the opening ceremony with verses from the Holy Quran. Let's start.
أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون وجعلنا السماء سقفا محفوظا وهم عن آياتها معرضون وهو الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون.
Allah has spoken the truth. Now, a welcoming speech delivered by His Excellency Abdul Malik bin Abdul Rahman al-Sheikh, the head of Higher Supervisor Committee, Director of Prince Sultan Institute for Environmental, Water, Desert and Research, Secretary General of the SIPW. Your Excellency, the floor is yours. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad and his households. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, august audience, it's my pleasure and honor that this conference is held under the patronage King Salman bin Abdulaziz, and we express our gratitude and appreciation, and we would like to welcome his representative, His Excellency Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture, Engineer Abdurrahman bin
معالي
Muhsin
رئيس
Al-Fadli,
الجامعة
and
الدكتور بدران
my
بن
thanks
عبد
to
الرحمن
Dr.
العمر
Badran
على
bin
توجيهاته
Al-Umar, the
وتسهيل كل ما من
president of
شأنه نجاح
university, for
هذا
his
المؤتمر،
efforts to
وأرحب
make
بضيوف
this
الشرف
conference
المشاركين
happen.
معنا
And I would
في حفل
like to
افتتاح
welcome
المؤتمر
guests of honor,
السيدة سومونيتا
Sominita
ديبيبو
Dibipu,
رئيسة مكتب هيئة
the
الأمم
director of
المتحدة
United Nations Office
لشؤون الفضاء
for the
الخارجي،
outer
ومعالي
space
الدكتور محمود
affairs,
أبو زيد
His
رئيس
Excellency Dr.
المجلس
Mahmoud
العربي
Abu Zaid, President
للمياه،
of
والسيد لوي
Arab Water
فوشون
Council, and Mr. Lo
رئيس المجلس
Fishon, the
العالمي
President
للمياه.
of the World
وأرحب
Water
بجميع
Council. And I would
المتحدثين
like to
في
welcome the
الجلسات
speakers
العلمية،
and the
وأشكر
panelists.
تفضلكم
And I would
بحضور
like to
حفل
thank
افتتاح
you for
المؤتمر
accepting
بجلساته
our
العلمية.
invitation.
يعقد المؤتمر
This
الدولي التاسع
conference
للموارد
is
المائية والبيئة
held
الجافة في جامعة الملك سعود
at King Saud
خلال الفترة من
University
16 إلى 18
during
شعبان
the periods
1442
of
هجري، الموافق 29 إلى
29
31 مارس
31st March
2021
2001
بصورة افتراضية
in
عبر
virtual
شبكة
manner
الإنترنت بسبب
by using
الجائحة
internet due to
الوبائية.
COVID-19.
ويشارك في
And
المؤتمر
this
نخبة من العلماء
conference will
لتقديم
have
محاضرات
a
رئيسية
galaxy
ضمن
of
محاور
speakers
المؤتمر
to
التي
address the
تتضمن
themes of this
الموارد
conference,
المائية،
which
ترشيد استخدام
include
المياه والبيئة الجافة،
water
واستخدام
resources,
التقنيات
water
الحديثة
conservation,
في
and
دراسة البيئة الجافة ومواردها
using and
الطبيعية.
applying modern technologies.
وتكمن
And
أهمية
the
هذا
importance
المؤتمر
of this
في تطابق
conference lies
محاوره مع
in
التيمات
the
الدولية التي يتم
alignment of the
تناولها
themes of this conference with the
على صعيد المنظمات والجمعيات ومراكز
international
الأبحاث
interests at the level
في
of
معظم الدول
the
أو في معظم
scientific
دول
and
العالم،
research
وأهمها الموارد
institutions
المائية والتنمية المستدامة
and
الاقتصادية
centers
والاجتماعية وإنتاج
focusing
الغذاء
on
وسلامة النظم
food
البيئية
production
والتغير
and
المناخي،
climate
إذ
change.
يركز
This
المؤتمر على
conference will
موضوعات
focus
ندرة
on
المياه التي
pressing
تشكل عائقا
topics
أساسيا أمام
including
التنمية الاقتصادية وإنتاج
water
الغذاء والصحة
scarcity, which
البشرية
is
ورفاه
an obstacle
الإنسان، وكذلك
for
يسلط الضوء على مظاهر
social
التلوث
welfare and
ومسببات
economic
التصحر
development,
وعوامل
sustainable
التغير المناخي
development. It will focus
وآثارها
as
السلبية
well
المحتملة.
on
ويستفاد من الأبحاث
desertification
التي
and
تلقى
other
في
aspects of
المؤتمر
environment.
في
The
توفير
research
الحلول
will
الكفيلة بتنمية
provide
وتطوير
solution to
الموارد
develop
الطبيعية
natural
وحسن
resources
استغلالها،
and the optimal use
والتنبيه إلى
and
أهمية
raising
تفعيل
their
دور
efficiency
كافة
and
قطاعات
activate
المجتمع
the role of
للمساهمة في
different
رفع
segments of
الوعي
society to increase
ووضع الخطط
awareness and to
السياسية التي
have
تهدف إلى
political
الإدارة
plans
الصحيحة المتكاملة
for
للموارد
better
الطبيعية
integrated management
لتحقيق
of natural
الرفاهية
resources
الاجتماعية والتنمية
for
المستدامة.
the social welfare and sustainable
انطلق
development. This
المؤتمر الدولي
conference
للموارد
was
المائية والبيئة
launched
الجافة في معهد الأمير سلطان
at
لأبحاث البيئة
Prince
والمياه
Sultan
والصحراء
Institute for
في جامعة
Environment,
الملك سعود
Water
مع
and Desert
تأسيس جائزة
Studies with the
الأمير سلطان
Prince
بن عبد العزيز
Sultan
العالمية للمياه،
International Prize
وتزامن
for
انعقاده مع
Water
حفل تسليم
in
جوائزها
line
منذ
with
عام
the
2004 الميلادي،
award ceremony in
ولذلك لقي
2004.
إقبالا واسعا
So this
من العلماء
conference
والباحثين
has full
للتعرف على أهم
recognition of
الإنجازات العلمية
scientists
على
to
المستوى الدولي.
inform them of
وسيقدم
the latest
في هذه الدورة
technologies.
عدد
And
كبير
in
من
this
الفائزين
edition, we'll have a
بالجائزة
number of
الحلول
winners of
الإبداعية
the prize
والابتكارات التي
who
فازوا
will
بها،
provide the
وما
innovative
لها من
solutions
تأثير
for their
هام
prize
على
and its
حل قضايا
impact
المياه
on
في جميع
solving the
أنحاء
problem
العالم،
of
بالإضافة إلى آخر
water
أبحاثهم
worldwide and
وإنتاجهم
in the
العلمي.
late scientific production and
ويسعدني
research. It's
بهذه
my pleasure
المناسبة أن
on this
أشيد بكل
occasion
الفخر
to
والاعتزاز
express with my
بالمستوى العلمي
gratitude
الذي
the
وصلت إليه
scientific
جائزة الأمير
level at
سلطان
which the prize
ابن عبد
has
العزيز
reached,
العالمية للمياه،
reached,
وخاصة بعد
especially
تشرفها
after being
بالرعاية
honored
الملكية
with the
السامية لخادم الحرمين
royal
الشريفين
patronage of
الملك
the
سلمان بن عبد
custodian of the two
العزيز
holy
يحفظه
mosques.
الله،
May
لحفل تسليم
Allah protect
جوائزها
them.
في
And
الدورتين السابعة والثامنة والتاسعة
the opening ceremony of
في مقر
awards
هيئة الأمم المتحدة في
at
نيويورك
the
في
headquarters of
أكتوبر
United Nations in
2016
October
وفي نوفمبر
2016 and November
2018 ميلادي،
2018,
ومؤخرا
and
في
lately
22 مارس
in
2021 ميلادي،
March
كما حققت
22.
الجائزة
And
العديد
this
من أهدافها
prize
الإنسانية
has
النبيلة
achieved a
في
number of
محاولة التغلب على
humanitarian
ندرة المياه
Nobel
الصالحة
goals
للاستهلاك
to
الإنساني
overcome the scarcity of water.
وتألقت سمعتها في
and it
جميع أنحاء
has become
العالم
one
بفضل
of
من
the
الله
most
سبحانه وتعالى ثم
prestigious
بدعم كريم من
prize
مؤسسها
in the
صاحب
world
السمو
due to the
الملكي الأمير
support
سلطان بن
of
عبد العزيز رحمه
His Royal
الله
Highness Prince
وتوجيهات
Sultan bin Abdul
ورعاية
Aziz
واستمرار دعمها من
and
قبل صاحب السمو
supervision
الملكي
and
الأمير خالد
directive
بن سلطان بن عبد العزيز
from Prince
واحتضان
Sultan bin
جامعة
Abdul
الملك
Aziz
سعود
and being hosted
لمقر
by King Abdul
أمانتها
Aziz
والإشراف
University
العلمي
and
عليها
the
وتطور
scientific
علاقتها
supervision and
بالأمم
its
المتحدة
good relation
من
with the
خلال
United
مكتبها
Nations
لشؤون الفضاء
through
في
the
فيينا. وقد
office
أصبح للجائزة مكانتها
of
المرموقة في
outer
المحافل
space
الدولية
affairs in
ونجحت في
Vienna,
استقطاب
and the
الباحثين من جميع أنحاء
prize
العالم
has
للتقدم
successfully
للترشيح لها،
attracted
وفاز
researchers
بها عدد
and
من كبار
scientists,
علماء
and it has
المياه
been given to prominent
بأعمال
scholars and
إبداعية
scientists
أسهمت
for their
بشكل فاعل
innovative solutions and
في
research
إيجاد حلول شاملة
to
ومبتكرة
provide
لجوانب
comprehensive and
حادة
innovative
في قضية
solutions
المياه في
to the
العالم.
pressing issues of
ومن
water in the
الناحية
world.
الأخرى
On the other
يعد
hand,
معهد الأمير سلطان
the
لإبحاث البيئة
Prince
والمياه
Sultan
والصحراء في جامعة
Institute
الملك سعود الذي
at King
أنشئ
Saud
عام
University, which was established
1406
in
هجري 1986 ميلادي، مركزا بحثيا
1986, a
متخصصا في دراسة
scientific
البيئة
research
الصحراوية
specialized in
والجافة
desert
السائلة في المملكة،
environment, which is
ويهدف
prevailing
إلى
in the
تصميم وإجراء
kingdom,
البحوث
and
العلمية
design scientific
التطبيقية،
research,
وخاصة ما
applied
يتعلق
scientific
بتنمية
research
الصحراء
related to
ومقاومة
the
التصحر
development of deserts
والمحافظة على
and
الموارد الطبيعية
desertification and
والبيئية وتنظيم
conserving natural
استغلالها
resources and the better management of
والتشجير
these
وإكثار
resources,
النباتات
and
والغابات
and
والمراعي
and
الطبيعية واستخدام
forestation
تقنيات
and
الاستشعار عن
using
بعد
remote
ونظم المعلومات
sensing and
الجغرافية لدعم
GIS
الأبحاث
to
والمشاريع
support
المشاريع
search
البحثية.
and
وقد
research
تناولت
and
مشاريع
research
المعهد
projects, and
وبحوثه
the
العلمية
center
التطبيقية
has
الأنظمة
handled applicable
البيئية
research,
الإحيائية في المملكة
including
وإمكانية
biodiversity
تنمية
and
المراعي الطبيعية
the
ودراسة
development of
الأشجار
green
والشجيرات المدخلة
lands and
من الدول
exotic plants
التي
and the
تتشابه
varieties which
بيئتها مع الصحاري في
have
المملكة،
similar
وتحديد
environments with the
مدى
kingdom, and
تأقلمها
how
مع
to
الظروف
adopt
البيئية
them with the climatic
المحلية
conditions in the
ودراسة
kingdom of
مواصفاتها
Saudi
أو
Arabia, and
خواصها النباتية
studying
البيئية
their
ودراسة مدى
characteristics
نجاحها
and how
ودراسة
they will be
المحافظة على
planted
التنوع البيئي
successfully
للنباتات
to
البرية
protect the
في
diversity of
المملكة
wildlife in
وتحديد
the
أنواع
kingdom,
النباتات
and to
المناسبة صحيا
identify
وبيئيا للتشجير
the
داخل المدن.
exotic
كما ركز
plants and the
المعهد
varieties
في
which can
مشاريعه
be imported
التطبيقية
and
على
planted
حصد
in the
وخزن مياه
kingdom,
الأمطار
and the
والسيول
center
في
focuses on
المملكة
harvesting
وإعادة تأهيل
and
القرى
storing
والهجر
the
وتقليل مخاطر
rainfall
السيول
and
مخاطر
handling
الأمطار والسيول.
and
يتفرد
addressing
المعهد
the
بخبرته
rainfall
الطويلة في
hazards
مجال
and
إنتاج الأطالس العلمية،
rehabilitating the
فقد صدر
villages,
عنه أطلس
and
الصور
the
الفضائية
center has produced
للمملكة العربية
the
السعودية، وهو أنهى
ecological
إعداد
atlas for
أطلس
the kingdom
النظم
of
البيئية
Saudi Arabia,
الطبيعية في المملكة
the first
ويستكمل
atlas
الآن
of its kind, and
إعداد
now in the
أطلس
process
التنمية
for
البيئية
preparing
المستدامة في
the
المملكة.
ecological
عودة
sustainable
للمؤتمر،
development.
أود
We come back to the
الإشارة إلى
conference. I
أن
would like to
جلسات
indicate
المؤتمر
that
تبدأ في
the
القاعة
sessions
الرئيسية
will
بعون الله
start
مباشرة
at the
بعد حفل
auditorium
افتتاح
at the
بعد
end
حفل
of the
الافتتاح أي
opening
في الساعة
ceremony
7:30
at
مساء
7:30 local time,
بتوقيت الرياض، 4:30 بتوقيت غرينتش.
4:30 p.m. Greenwich
وتوزع
time,
المحاضرات
and
على
the
شاشتين حسب
presentations will
البرنامج
be
الزمني
played
المتاح
on
في
two
القاعة.
screens based on
ويسعدني في
the
الختام
schedule. In
توجيه الشكر
conclusion,
إلى
I would
جميع
like to
الجهات
express my thanks
المنظمة
to
للمؤتمر
the
والجهات
organizers of
المشاركة في
this
المعرض
conference,
المصاحب
and
له
the sponsors, and
والمتحدثين في
the
الجلسات العلمية
exhibitors, and the
وجميع الجهات
speakers, and the
الراعية
other
للمؤتمر وأخص
sponsoring.
بالذكر
I would like
الشريك
to
الاستراتيجي
express
شركة أراسكو
my
والشركة
special
الممثلة
thanks to
للمؤتمر
Arasco, the
مؤسسة البريك
organizers,
المنظم إيفنت
Break,
تروب
Evans
والمنصة
Troop,
الافتراضية
and the
في
virtual
فير
platform
التي شاركتها في
Fair,
إعداد التصاميم.
which has
وأخيرا أشكر
participated
وأطلب
in
من الله
designing,
جميع
and I
المشاركين في
wish you
هذا
the best of
المؤتمر
luck
رحلة
and
سعيدة
the
في هذا
benefits
العالم
in
الافتراضي
this
والمفترض.
virtual journey. Thank you indeed, Your Excellency. I would like to note that BSIBW had honored the winners of its ninth winners edition last Monday. The next video will shed some light on these creative minds of scientists.
The Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz International Prize for Water is a leading global scientific award focusing on cutting-edge innovation in water research. The prize gives recognition to scientists, researchers, and inventors around the world for pioneering work that addresses the problem of water scarcity in creative and effective ways. The prize was established in 2002 by His Royal Highness Crown Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz, who realized that scientific innovation was needed if we are to prevent a global water crisis. This vision is shared by his son and PSIPW President, His Royal Highness Prince Khalid bin Sultan. We need international commitment, political will, and effective water management to ensure people get the water that is vital for their lives. This will not be enough without innovative scientific solutions. Breakthroughs are needed. To this end, PSIPW offers a suite of 5 prizes every 2 years, covering the entire water research landscape. There are 4 specialized prizes, each worth $133,000 in surface water, groundwater, alternative water resources, and water management and protection. Then there is the Creativity Prize worth $266,000. This is a unique prize that awards cutting-edge interdisciplinary work relevant to water resources. The challenges we face today in protecting our environment and water supply are extremely complex, and they require a wide range of expertise to solve them. In July 2020, PSIPW announced the winners for its 9th award. The Creativity Prize was awarded to the team of Dr. Benjamin S. Shao at Stony Brook University. His team developed adsorbents, coagulants, and membrane materials from sustainable, biomass-sourced nanocellulose fibers, along with numerous practical applications that promise to provide effective water purification for off-grid communities of the developing world. The Creativity Prize was also awarded for the team of Dr. Sharif Al-Safti for the National Institute for Material Science in Japan. Dr. Al-Safti's team has developed novel nanomaterials for a nanofiltration, capture, detection process that detects and selectively removes a wide range of water contaminants in a single step. A diverse range of these materials, which are conducive to mass-scale production, provides nanofiltration, membranes, and filters for water management applications, including purification, remediation, and the monitoring of hazard levels for various water sources. The Surface Water Prize was awarded to Dr. Zbigniew Kundziewicz of the Polish Academy of Sciences. His work advances our understanding of the relationship between flood risk, river flow, and climate change. He applies this knowledge to develop a diversified portfolio of flood risk management approaches that work together for maximum net effect, providing practical solutions for flood risk reduction and flood preparedness. The Groundwater Prize was awarded to Dr. J. Jaime Gomez Hernandez of the Universitat Politécnica de Valencia. His work involves solving the inverse problem in hydrogeology. This is the process of calculating the causal factors that produce a set of observations. This is notoriously difficult for groundwater flow and mass transport in the subsurface because the large spatial variability makes predictions extremely uncertain at unsampled locations. His self-calibrating method uses pilot points for stochastic inversions of natural heterogeneity, which yields not only an estimate of the parameters, but also an estimate about the uncertainty. Due to its novelty, his work was met with strong opposition at first, but has become a common practice today. The Alternative Water Resources Prize was awarded to Dr. Peng Wang at King Abdullah University of Science and Technology in Saudi Arabia. His work is at the forefront of solar evaporation water production technology. It involves solar energy-driven freshwater generation using environmental nanotechnology, solar desalination, zero liquid discharge desalination, and atmospheric water harvesting. His many developments include a fully solar-driven, all-in-one, self-healing solar distillation device and a new nano-vapor sorbent that successfully provides continuous atmospheric water generation. The Water Management and Protection Prize was awarded to Dr. J. R. Lund of the University of California, Davis. He developed the Calvin Water Supply Optimization Model, a tool for the integrated analysis of regional water supply systems that couples traditional water supply criteria with economic considerations. Calvin was successful in reshaping and optimizing water planning and management in California, with substantial improvements to the public welfare. Other countries around the world, including Mexico and Spain, have developed large-scale economic engineering optimization models with Calvin as their backbone. His work shows how the natural and social sciences can inform public policy in a challenging political environment and contribute to regional water conflict resolution. It also demonstrates how game theory can be harnessed to develop more effective water management policies. PSIPW is now receiving nominations for its 10th award. Nominations can be made online at the PSIPW website.
King Saud University is a leading and prestigious academic institution led by His Excellency Dr. Badran bin Abdurrahman Al Omar. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad. Peace, Your Excellency, Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture, representative of the custodian of the two holy mosques, Your Excellencies, august audience, brothers and sisters, good afternoon. I'm truly honored to welcome you on the 9th International Conference on Water Resources and Arid Environments, which is organized and held virtually by King Saud University due to COVID-19, for which we pray to Allah to relieve us. And a special welcome to His Excellency, Dr. Engineer Abdurrahman Fadli, to represent and speak on behalf of the custodian of the two holy mosques, as well as guests of honors who will speak on the opening ceremony. Simonetta Dibibo, Director of the United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Abu Zaid, President of the Arab Water Council, and Mr. Lord Fishon, President of World Water Council. First of all, and in the first place, we express our sincere gratitude and appreciation to the custodian of the two holy mosques for his royal patronage of this conference, which gives it more weight and prominence on the local and global levels. Holding this international conference with the major themes comes in harmony with the plans adopted by the Saudi government, notably Vision 2030 and subsequent strategic plans and programs. We hope that this conference will achieve part of this ambitious vision, especially the part related to conservation of the environment and its natural resources in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and we hope it will share insights and practices that help enhance and preserve this irreplaceable and precious resources, namely water. Dear audience, King Saud University plays a vital role in preserving and conserving our national resources through the strategic plan and excellent initiatives, especially these initiatives of management and development of water resources. The Prince Sultan Institute for Environmental, Water and Desert Research carries out and support applied environmental, water and desert research of the leading projects by localizing and development of new technologies. And the institute has successfully
بنجاح في
applied
أحواض أكثر من 20 سداً في
effective
مناطق مختلفة من
methods
المملكة
which
أدت
have been
جميعها
applied
إلى الاستفادة من
in
مياه
the
الأمطار
basins of more
والحد من
than
فقدها.
20 dams.
وقد أنهى المعهد مؤخراً
As a
إعداد
result,
أول أطلس
rainfall has
بيئي
been
للمملكة
harvested
العربية
effectively
السعودية
with
يبرز
their
النظم
charts.
البيئية
And
الطبيعية
recently, the
فيها
institute has
وتنوعها
completed the
وملامحها
first
الرئيسة.
environmental atlas
وإلى
for the
جانب
Kingdom of
الدراسية
Saudi Arabia,
البحثية في مجالات
highlighting
بحوث
the
البيئة
diverse
والمياه،
ecological system
تحتضن
and the key
جامعة الملك
features.
سعود مقر
Along with their
الأمانة
research
العامة
chairs, the
لجائزة الأمير
environment
سلطان بن
and
عبد العزيز
water, King
العالمية
Saud University is the
للمياه
seat of
التي
the
أصبحت في صدارة
Secretariat
الجوائز
General
الدولية،
of the Prince
وكان لها
Sultan bin
دور بالغ
Abdulaziz
في تقدير
International Prize
العلماء
for Water,
وتشجيع
which
البحث
has
العلمي
become
الإبداعي
one of the most
في جميع
prestigious
أنحاء العالم
international
منذ
award,
عام
has
2002
played a
الميلادي
prominent role in honoring
للمساهمة في
scientists
إيجاد
and
الحلول
encouraging
العلمية
creative and innovative scientific
الكفيلة
research
الهادفة إلى
across the globe
توفير المياه
since
الصالحة
2002.
للاستعمال
The prize aims to provide
والتقليل
scientific
من
and effective
ندرتها
solution
والمحافظة
to
على
provide water
استدامتها
good
خاصة
for
في المناطق
use,
الجافة.
address its
أما هذا المؤتمر
scarcity, and
الدولي
maintain its
للموارد المائية
sustainability.
والبيئة الجافة
This
فهو
international
يسهم
conference has
منذ
been,
انطلاقته
since
عام
its inception,
2004 ميلادي
addressing and
في تناول
discussing the
الموضوعات
most
الحيوية
pressing issues
الساخنة،
with
وشارك
the
فيه عدد كبير
active
من العلماء حول
participation of
العالم
large
لطرح
number of
أبحاثهم
scientists
العلمية
from all
في
over the world
محاولات
to
جادة
present their scientific
لمعالجة
papers
هذه
in a
القضايا،
serious and genuine effort to address
وبصورة
and find
خاصة
solutions to
ما
these
يتعلق
issues to
منها
mention about
بالمياه
fuel,
والجفاف
water,
وتلوث
drought,
البيئة
environmental
والتغير
pollution,
المناخي.
and the climate
أيها
change.
الحفل الكريم،
Dear audience,
ما كان
these
لهذه الجهود
efforts
من جانب
was
وزارة البيئة
exerted
والمياه
by Ministry
والزراعة
of
أو جامعة الملك
Environment,
سعود
Water
أو
and
مؤتمرنا
Agriculture
الحالي
and
أن
King
تبذل
Saud
أو
University
تثمر لولا
wouldn't
الدعم
have
اللامحدود
come
من لدن سيدي
to
خادم
born
الحرمين
fruits
الشريفين
and
وسمو
been
ولي عهده الأمير،
impactful
فلهما
without
منا
a
جميعا
limited and
جزيل
generous
الشكر
support of the
والتقدير وعظيم
custodian of
الامتنان. كما
two Hollow
أتقدم
Mosques and the Crown of
معالي
Praise.
وزير
They
البيئة
deserve
والمياه
our
والزراعة على
sincere and
افتتاح
profound
المؤتمر
appreciation
نيابة عن
and
سيدي خادم
gratitude.
الحرمين
I would
الشريفين،
like to express my
والشكر
gratitude
موصول
to the
إلى جميع المشاركين في
Minister of
المؤتمر وإلى المنظمين،
Mawa, and I would like
وعلى
to thank
رأسهم
the
المشرف
organizers
على
headed
معهد
by
الأمير سلطان
the
لأبحاث البيئة
supervisor
والمياه والصحراء
of Prince
سعادة
Sultan
الدكتور عبد
Institute,
الملك بن
His
عبد الرحمن آل
Excellency
الشيخ.
Dr. Abdul Malik
وختاما
bin
نأمل
Abdurrahman
أن
Al
توفق
Sheikh.
الجهود
In
المشتركة
conclusion,
بين
we
الجهات
hope that the
المنظمة
joint
لهذا
efforts
المؤتمر
between the organizers of this
والعلماء
office and
المشاركين فيه
scientists
وإبداعاتهم التي
participating and
يقدمونها في
their
التوصل إلى
innovation
حلول
to
علمية
reach
عملية
scientific
رائدة
and
تسهم
applicable
في حل
solutions
المشاكل
which can
والقضايا المشار
contribute,
إليها،
find
وأن
solutions
تعم
to our
الفائدة
issues
من
and the
عرض هذه
benefits
الحلول على البشرية عامة.
for all
حفظ الله
humanity.
بلادنا
May Allah
وقيادتنا من
protect
كل سوء
our
ومكروه،
country
ووفقكم إلى
and
ما فيه
best of
خير
luck.
البشرية. السلام عليكم
Thank
ورحمة
you.
الله وبركاته.
Thank you indeed, Your Excellency. King Saud University has the full right to tell the entire world of its story of achievements made by this remarkable institution. Please watch this.
في كل صباح يسابقون الشمس بعزيمة وإصرار، طلاب يجسدون الآمال ويحققون التطلعات، وأعضاء هيئة تدريس متميزون، وباحثون مبدعون يستثمرون الإمكانات ويصنعون المستقبل، يجتمعون في بيئة محفزة للتعلم والإبداع الفكري، يتشاركون في بناء مجتمع قائم على العلم والابتكار. إنها رؤية وطن تجسدت في جامعة تسعى إلى الريادة العالمية وبناء الشراكات المعرفية من خلال التميز في جودة التعليم والبحث العلمي وتخريج كوادر وطنية مؤهلة للتعلم المستمر مدى الحياة. إنها جامعة الملك سعود. حرصت الدولة السعودية منذ بداية عهد الملك عبد العزيز رحمه الله على نشر العلم، فأقامت المدارس والمعاهد، وأنشأت مديرية المعارف العمومية وكلية الشريعة بمكة المكرمة. فسار أبناء المؤسس الملوك على دربه واتبعوا نهجه، فرفعوا من شأن العلم واهتموا بمنشآته ومخرجاته، بوصفه بوابة التقدم والنافذة الأرحب على مستقبل مشرق. في عام 1377 هجرية أسس الملك سعود رحمه الله أول صرح أكاديمي لجامعة متكاملة في المملكة، سميت جامعة الملك سعود. مراسيم ملكية تلو المراسيم رسمت مراحل تأسيس الجامعة. 1380 هجرية اعتبار الجامعة شخصية اعتبارية ولها ميزانية مستقلة. 1387 هجرية إحداث المجلس الأعلى للجامعة. 1392 هجرية إنشاء المجلس العلمي، عام بعد عام وكلية وراء كلية. اكتملت أركان جامعة الملك سعود ذلك الصرح التعليمي الجامع لمختلف التخصصات لتؤدي دورها الريادي المتميز بتخريج كوادر وطنية وإقليمية مبدعة قادرة على المنافسة تغطي جميع الاحتياجات منها. تعاملت جامعة الملك سعود مع طلابها على أنهم طاقة وطنية يعول عليها في نهضة الوطن ودفع حركة نموه في أي موقع وظيفي يشغلونه، فارتقت بهم إلى مستوى عال من التأهيل العلمي والتدريب الذي يجعل لهم شأنا رياديا في المستقبل، وعملت على إكساب الطالب مجموعة متكاملة من المهارات من خلال السنة التحضيرية التي تمثل ركيزة هامة للانطلاق نحو التخصص المناسب لقدرات الطالب. رسمت جامعة الملك سعود خطوات تقدم الجامعة نحو تحقيق رؤيتها من خلال الخطة الاستراتيجية KSU 2030 للوصول إلى الريادة العالمية والتميز في بناء مجتمع المعرفة. اعتمدت الخطة المرونة والواقعية وركزت على العمل المؤسساتي، ومن خلال الجدية في التنفيذ والمتابعة وتعزيز المؤشرات الإيجابية، فإن خطة الجامعة الاستراتيجية في تقدم مستمر نحو تحقيق أهدافها. حظي تعليم الفتاة العالي بأهمية كبيرة في جامعة الملك سعود، فقد أولت الخطط المتتابعة للجامعة زيادة فرص التعليم العالي للفتاة، فكان من أهم مشروعاتها المدينة الجامعية للطالبات على مساحة 1,232,000 متر مربع. يعد التعلم الإلكتروني والتعليم عن بعد في جامعة الملك سعود رافداً أساسياً للتعليم الجامعي من خلال توفير بيئة إلكترونية داعمة لأداء أعضاء هيئة التدريس، ومحفزة للطلاب تعتمد التوظيف الأمثل لتطبيقات التعليم الإلكتروني. مشروع المدينة الجامعية الذكية يمثل مستقبل الجامعة الواعد، ويستثمر للإسهام في بناء مجتمع المعرفة. امتدت خدمات جامعة الملك سعود إلى المجالات الصحية والاجتماعية، فضلاً عن تطوير البيئة التعليمية في المستشفيات الجامعية، ونتج عنها إنشاء مستشفى الملك خالد الجامعي عام 1401 هجرية كمنظومة صحية متكاملة لاستقطابها طاقم طبي متميز من أطباء واستشاريين وممرضين وممرضات تم اختيارهم بموجب مواصفات مهنية عالمية. كما تميز مستشفى الملك عبد العزيز الجامعي منذ أكثر من 40 سنة في الموائمة بين البحث والتعليم الطبي وبين الرعاية الصحية في بيئة شاملة. حققت المدينة الطبية في اعتمادها على التشغيل الذاتي المبادرة الأولى من استراتيجية الجامعة في تميز الرعاية، إذ خضع قطاع الخدمات الصحية لأكبر توسعة شملت كل المنشآت الطبية. أدارت جامعة الملك سعود إلى تأسيس ذراع استثماري متمثلاً بشركة وادي الرياض من أجل تأمين موارد ذاتية لدعم مشاريعها العلمية والمساهمة في تحويل اقتصاد المملكة العربية السعودية من اقتصاد نفطي إلى اقتصاد يعتمد على المعرفة، والسعي في نقل توطين التقنية وتحويل مخرجات البحث والابتكار إلى عوائد مالية توفر فرصاً وظيفية عبر الاستثمار في المشاريع الريادية محلياً ودولياً. معاهد ومراكز بحثية متقدمة تتبع جامعة الملك سعود، تهدف إلى تعزيز البنية التحتية للبحث والتطوير، منها معهد الملك عبد الله بن عبد العزيز لأبحاث النانو، الذي أنشئ بمبادرة من خادم الحرمين الشريفين عام 1428 هجرية، بهدف نقل التقنية وتوطينها وبناء قدرات وطنية للبحث العلمي في مجال النانو وتوفير البيئة المناسبة لها. بدعم من الحكومة الرشيدة وتشجيع ومؤازرة من رجال الأعمال المخلصين، مشروع أبراج الجامعة باكورة مشروعات الوقف الاستثمارية يتكون من 11 برجاً تم استثمارها في مجالات مختلفة، ومن المتوقع أن يغطي العائد الاستثماري بعد اكتمال المرحلة الثانية للأوقاف 25% من مصروفات البحث العلمي ودعم الباحثين. ارتقت جامعة الملك سعود بمستوى أداء برامجها الدراسية والتطويرية، وكانت أول جامعة في المملكة تستوفي متطلبات الهيئة الوطنية للاعتماد والتقويم الأكاديمي NCAA. فتحت نوافذ التعليم في المملكة العربية السعودية على أفق معرفة مستدامة، فكانت جامعة الملك سعود مركز إشعاع حضاري ومنارة للعلم والمعرفة، تطبق المعايير الدولية وتحاكي أفضل الجامعات العالمية.
On behalf of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, for attending the opening and the closing ceremony of this conference and to open the virtual accompanying exhibition, His Excellency Minister of Environment, Water and Agriculture, Engineer Abdurrahman bin Mahsen Al-Fadli, Your Excellency, the floor is yours. In the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate, praise and thanks are due to Allah alone. Peace and blessing be upon our Prophet Muhammad and his household. Your Royal Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, peace be upon you all and good afternoon. It's indeed a big honor and a privilege to represent and speak on behalf of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz, at the opening ceremony of the 9th International Conference of Water Resources and Arid Environments, which is held virtually under his royal kind patronage. I'm truly pleased to welcome you all and highly appreciate that you will share the best part of your experience, scientific research and innovation, which will help find practical solutions to water and environmental issues. This prestigious conference will serve as an interactive platform for scientists, researchers, and all interested parties and the stakeholders to share and exchange knowledge related to water resources and arid environments. This conference focuses on how to put to use the latest and the modern technologies and the breakthrough made by studies of arid and semi-arid region and their natural resources. This conference will showcase the latest technologies, invention, and international best practices used in water conservation and sustainability, especially that invited speakers of PSIPW winners, and they work for the most prominent and leading research centers, international organizations, and the largest water associations and councils in the world. Brothers and sisters, should be noted that Saudi Arabia has identified the environmental issues, namely water, as an urgent priority at all levels, to which strategic and action plans and laws have been developed to ensure its sustainability, reduce pollution, and raise efficiency of its natural resources. Vision 2030 has outlined overarching and inclusive sustainable development plans, including environmental sustainability through the preservation, development, and protection environmental and natural resources as considered a moral, religious, and human duty, and the apparel of quality of life programs and part of efforts aiming to reduce pollution by raising efficiency of water, recycling, reducing all forms and types of pollution, addressing desertification, and optimizing the use of natural resources. We can achieve as such by conserving water and scaling up and treated and recycled water. Moreover, it focuses on setting up an integrated system for waste management to ensure full protection of coasts and natural projects funded by government funds and private sector. Brothers and sisters, Saudi Arabia has witnessed over the last decades accelerated development in various areas, coupled with growing demand in water. So, further efforts are required to develop water resources, find alternative and additional resources by increasing the number and the scope of desalination plants, treated water, harvesting and storing rainfall. There has been growing interest in the critical and vital resources. The government has approved the National Strategy for Water, which aims to a sustainable water sector, safeguarding the natural resources and the environment of the kingdom, and providing cost-effective supply and high-quality services that can contribute to social and economic development. In addition to that, a royal order was issued to approve the comprehensive water law, as well as supporting universities and research institutions and centers to conduct scientific and applicable research in water resources to increase their efficiency and optimal use, and help in making informed decisions to develop this process, this precious resource, and curbing its depletion. Furthermore, research will help develop new technologies and methods to provide cost-effective desalinated water, explore other alternative resources, and optimize water resources with full use of technologies, and developing and applying modern techniques and optimal harvesting and storage. On this occasion, I would like to express my appreciation to the remarkable scientific efforts exerted by King Saud University and its specialized institutes, namely Prince Sultan Institute for Environmental, Water and Desert Research, as well as Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz International Prize for Water, hosted by King Saud University since 2002. Brother and sister, the ministry is truly pleased to be a partner in organizing this international conference held every 2 years since its first edition in 2004. We hope that joint efforts of organizer and this gathering eminent scholars and scientific papers will come up with the applicable and scientific solutions help to address and solve environmental issues, notably water scarcity and pollution. In conclusion, I wish you the best of luck and a very effective and productive conference with the recommendation for benefits of all. I reiterate my thanks for your participation and extend my thanks to the organizers and the sponsors, praying to Allah that these efforts will be crowned with success and the best of luck. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you all. And our thanks to Aras Company, the strategic partner, Assyrian Province Amana, the gold partner, for their remarkable efforts and support for the activities of this conference. We come to end of this opening ceremony. Shortly, we will start the opening session. The speakers of these sessions are eminent scientists. They have long experience in scientific achievements. And the higher committee is pleased to host them as honorable guests of honor.
Excellencies, distinguished participants, it is a great honor and pleasure to address this 9th International Conference on Water Resources and Arid Environments. Warm thank you to the organizers for the opportunity for the United Nations to be represented. Water is a critical resource, essential for all life as we know it. It is no coincidence that this liquid is the first thing we look for in the search of living organisms beyond planet Earth. While the H2O molecule itself is abundant in space, its liquid form is more precious. The Earth remains the only celestial object known to have stable liquid water on its surface. But while most living beings require modest consumption, humanity relies heavily on water resources. The global demand has been growing by 1% annually since the 1980s, driven by population growth, socioeconomic development, and changing consumption patterns. There are no signs of slowing down. But there is an issue. Fresh water is a finite resource. Only around 1% of the world water is readily available for human use, and it is already not enough. The SDG 6 Synthesis Report 2018 on water and sanitation gives us a grim picture. Currently, over 2 billion people experience high levels of water scarcity, and half of the world's population experiences severe water scarcity at least 1 month per year. The current COVID-19 pandemic very vividly exposed the vulnerabilities of communities with poor water access, further exacerbating existing inequalities and hardship. We are stretching nature to its limits, and with human-induced climate emergency, limits themselves are changing. The projections are striking. If we do not take bold action, the gap in supply and demand of water resources will only intensify, translating into even greater risks for the people, planet, peace, and prosperity. Fortunately, the roadmap to alleviate the suffering of billions and to build a better future globally is there. The 2030 Agenda and other internationally agreed frameworks demonstrate the scale and ambition required for a better future. In our context, we are guided by the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. SDG 6 is a cross-cutting issue impacting many other goals. In 2018, the United Nations General Assembly launched the Water Action Decade, a global call to action with a greater focus on the sustainable development and integrated management of water resources. But what do we need for accelerating actions for tackling the water crisis? Well, innovation, science and technology, data and knowledge, resources, international cooperation, and then solidarity, dedication, and ambition. This allows us to create, sustain, and scale up bold, effective, and affordable solutions. Our activities in space can serve as an inspiration. It is no secret, rather still not well communicated truth, that space operations have a transformative power on society. Satellites facilitate climate action, connect the world, help us understand the state of our planet, and improve well-being across the globe. And the list of benefits for addressing water-related challenges is extensive. Water resource management, studying the water cycle, monitoring surface water bodies and their quality, observing the oceans, wetlands, and coastal ecosystems, detecting pollution, or research on the effect of drugs and desertification. I could continue for a few hours here. In this regard, the progress we have witnessed in the space industry over the past few years is truly a game changer. More than 3,000 satellites are now operating in space, producing stunning volumes of data, imagery, and underpinning applications and services we could not have dreamt of just a few decades ago. Looking ahead, I see no future where space does not play a major role in prosperity and sustainability. It is for these reasons why we must address the space divide. This persistent gap in capabilities means that space benefits remains inaccessible, affecting capacity, awareness, as well as positioning of space for decision and policy making. The space community must step up to bridge this gap, as ultimately the whole civilization will benefit from universal access to this. And here, let me take the occasion to delve deeper into the role of the Office for Outer Space Affairs in making this happen in the context of water-related issues. The Office, as the only entity in the UN system dedicated exclusively to space affairs, works across the political, legal, and technical aspects of supporting international cooperation in the peaceful uses of outer space. As a capacity builder, we strengthen the capacity of UN member states to use space science, technology, and applications for development by helping to integrate space capabilities into national development programs. As a convener, we facilitate cooperative efforts towards a common goal, a better future for humanity. And as the gateway to space in the UN system, we help ensure that the organization is well equipped to take advantage of the existing space benefits to deliver on its mandates. The realm of water issues has been under the purview of UNUSA for several years, seeing the organization of several capacity building events and progressing significantly on other fronts as well. Here, I must commend the support of our great and valuable partner. The Office and the Prince Sultan bin Abdulaziz International Prize for Water have enjoyed fruitful cooperation since 2008. The common aim to use space technologies for water resource management brought the two organizations together. In the same year, UNUS and PSIPW jointly organized the first international conference on the use of space technology for water management in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Building on this successful event, we continue convening stakeholders under the umbrella of the International Conference on Space Technologies for Water Management series. These are aimed at fostering scientific knowledge exchange and supporting researchers from developing countries. 3 conferences were organized since: in Buenos Aires in 2011, in Rabat in 2014, and in Islamabad in 2018. In 2016, we formalized our collaboration, leading to a state-of-the-art platform for promoting the use of space-based technology for increased access to water. The Space for Water portal, launched in October 2018 during the 8th PSIPW award ceremony at the United Nations headquarters in New York, is the main pillar of the joint work. The web portal serves as a multi-stakeholder platform for interdisciplinary knowledge exchange on space technologies and water-related topics. Organizations and actors active in the respective sectors share information on projects, initiatives, satellite missions, software, community portals, capacity building and training material, conferences, workshops, and publications. Only recently, we celebrated the participation of the 50 stakeholders, reaching a great milestone. More stakeholders mean more information and more opportunities to learn from one another and avoid duplication in efforts. I'm already looking forward to seeing the list grow even further in the future. The renewed agreement we signed in December underlines the value our organizations see in ensuring the long-term sustainability of the joint efforts for the benefit of both the experts and the global community as such. I must once again extend my gratitude to the PSIPW for their outstanding support and contribution. I can only extend an invitation to all stakeholders to join us in the mission towards a better future. The United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs stands ready to work with you for the benefit of humanity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there is no limit to ambition. There are only the limits we create ourselves. Space is an incredibly powerful tool for a better future. As elaborated, the benefits space activities generate are impactful on every sustainable development goal. The Space for Water project run by UNUSA enables access to water-relevant data and knowledge. This allows stakeholders to be creative and realize their full potential in contributing to a world in which the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation is a reality. Apt solutions are there, and more are coming online. Knowledge is there, and creativity and ingenuity are there as well. What we need to do in this decade of action collectively is to utilize them to their maximum potential. We can only do that by ensuring that all relevant benefits from space operations, but also stemming from the other activities, are made accessible to everyone. I'm convinced that the global community, through the right approach, cooperation, and solidarity at heart, can and will make great strides in this regard. There is no time to spare. I thank you once again for inviting me to speak and wish everyone a successful and productive event.
Ar-Rahman Rahim. Excellencies, honorable participants and guests, it's my pleasure to participate with you today in this prestigious event of the 9th International Conference on Water Resources and Arid Environments, which is truly one of a series of leading regional scientific conferences organized by King Saud University's Prince Sultan Institute for Environmental, Water and Desert Research. It goes without saying that on the regional scale, our rivers and aquifers are the lifeblood of the planet and must be shared among all that need them. Hence, must be protected from the effects of conflict, pollution, and overexploitation. Scaling down to the Arab region, which is the main focus area of the Arab Water Council that I am honored to chair, it is well known that the region is one of the driest in the world. This presents both challenges and opportunities. Regarding the challenges, as you are aware, the region contains 5% of the world population with only 1% of its fresh water resources. This population could even double in the next 50 years. Moreover, more than 65% of this water comes from neighboring countries, as is the case in the River Nile for Egypt and Sudan. The crisis of water scarcity in the Arab region is escalating, where 18 countries out of the 22 countries suffer from scarcity. 8 have less than an average of 200 cubic meters per capita, which could even drop to less than 100 cubic meters in the next decade. The region also imports 50% of the water through food imports, besides facing a diversity of other water-linked challenges, namely the conflicts on shared water resources, climate conditions, poverty, environmental pollution, and ecosystem degradation, unbalanced economic affordability and food supply, as well as gender inequalities, which are aggravated by poor governance. Evidently, we need to find comprehensive solutions that satisfy all parties in order to proceed with the integrated planning and management of water, especially shared waters that comes from outside the borders. Coordinated actions and innovative technical, legal, and political solutions, besides hydrodiplomacy endeavors for shared waters, are hence urgently needed to be adopted by governments, national and international organizations, and various stakeholders if water scarcity and consequently food and energy security in the region are to be achieved. In the light of such existing and further expected water deficit, the use of non-conventional water resources has become an irreplaceable strategic option to the Arab world nowadays. And though it can fill part of the gap between supply and demand, yet it has multidisciplinary interlinkages with different sectors that may be of conflicting objectives and overlapping responsibilities, sometimes with underfined administrative and financing agendas for water reuse. From here stemmed the idea of initiating an Arab non-conventional water resources initiative or program, triggered by the Arab Water Council in the year 2015 towards a sustainable and secure Arab water future. The objective of the initiative is to promote developing regional policies that can cope with technological advances, cross-sectorial issues in a nexus approach, including the social, economical, and the environmental requirements of non-conventional water use. Within the framework of the program, an Arab portal network in the different fields of non-conventional water resources was eventually established to exchange best experiences and technology development in water-related fields among institutions on the Arab region scale. Additionally, in accordance with its long-term vision and work plan as regional coordinator of the water sector, the Arab Water Council and its development partners, mostly under the umbrella of the League of Arab States, has embarked on several major activities with special focus on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, especially Goal 6, related to clean water and sanitation for all, and their significant impacts on the regional and national scales. In 2018, Arab Water Council has also initiated and hosted an SDG climate facility, which is a regional UN platform that aims at building the resilience of ecosystems and communities. Under the umbrella of this facility, a regional climate security network was recently launched in December 2020 for strengthening the climate change knowledge base, which is an added value towards the prospective fulfillment of the Sustainable Development Goals. Honorable participants and guests, as one of our present day concerns, I believe you may agree with me that at the time the world is mobilizing to defeat the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, it has never been more important to protect our water resources. In the middle of each crisis, we will find water as a vital element. In these unprecedented times, water is fighting the disease, acting as a barrier to the virus and maintaining a decent standard of living for the millions of people who are confined to their homes. Recently, in March 2020, as efforts were made by high-level political processes through the virtual G20 summit held by Saudi Arabia on coronavirus disease, a call was announced to all countries to be part of a global action plan to combat COVID-19 pandemic through scientific, technical, and financial means. Within this context, the Arab Water Council, being a contributor with other partner organizations and Arab countries in developing and implementing the action plan of the Arab Water Security Strategy 2010-2030, approved by the Arab Water Ministerial Council, affiliated to the League of Arab States, recognizes that sustainable and equitable availability of clean water and sanitation services for all is prioritized as a core issue for the successful combat against COVID-19 and all future diseases in the Arab region. Furthermore, Arab Water Council is keen to support the global action plan to achieve access to water and sanitation by 2030 in the Arab region and globally. In the fight against coronavirus, Arab Water Council will also continue its role to raise awareness and shape an Arab voice to face challenges on water-related issues. The development challenge nowadays is how to create a culture of collaborative learning and knowledge sharing so that countries that share water courses can work with each other in a new world of global externalities depending on benefit sharing rather than sharing of the resources themselves, and that policymakers are able to understand that growing environmental interdependence is more and more facing common interests in managing water than has ever been necessary before. Arab Water Council is also committed to its concerted activities and is glad for proceed with preparations for its forthcoming fifth Arab Water Forum, one of the most important water gatherings that will be held this year in the United Arab Emirates in September 2021, and that provide a platform for exchange of knowledge and technologies in water-related issues. I take the chance to cordially invite you to participate in this vital assembly. Your valuable contribution will certainly be an added value to the event. In conclusion, therefore, it is evident that the challenge of limited renewable water resources in the Arab region has exerted pressure on non-renewable water resources. We hence need to think about the sustainability of societies that are dependent on this water before it becomes yet more scarce. We need to find innovative, out-of-the-box solutions that satisfy all parties in order to proceed with the integrated planning and management and good governance of water, especially that which comes from outside the borders. We need to alert people to be aware that the time of easy water is over and that it is time to act now with more wisdom and care at all levels of society and all stakeholders without exception, meanwhile leaving no one behind. Each and every one of us has a share of responsibility and has a role to play, including reforming of the policies of institutions that manage water and provide water services, as well as developing and improving the infrastructure for water projects and promoting awareness and education efforts to highlight the value of water and the need to preserve it and deal with it as the life-giving source. The important role of media, leaders, and patrons who shape society's thought and sentiment is not to be ignored. In a nutshell, we can say that cooperation, integration, and networking is a strategic necessity to achieve a water-secure and sustainable future. It is the only route towards enhancing knowledge, dissemination, communication, dialogue, and sharing of experience for the benefit of all. Thank you, and wishing you best of luck in your deliberations. Thank you.
Of water. I'm very pleased and honored to participate in the opening of the 9th International Conference on Water Resources and Arid Environments, organized under the auspice of Saudi Ministry of the Environment, Water and Agriculture. I'm very pleased to be with you on a virtual capacity, not really with you. Your conference represents a great opportunity to address such an important gathering of representatives from national, regional, and also international organizations, university, research institutes, working all on water and related subjects. I would be even happier if we could meet in person in Riyadh, perhaps next year. The modern capital city with sophisticated culture, to shake hands and share fruitful conversations on global water challenges and water security. Academic research and professional community provide a deep source of knowledge, technical know-how and competence, with a direct link to students and younger generation. A stakeholder with an important role to play in water security, whose voice must be heard and mainstreamed in inclusive dialogue with other stakeholders. The World Water Council is perfectly aware of it. Approximately 30% of its members are from academia. For 25 years of our existence, the World Water Council, together with its 400 members, ranging from international, intergovernmental, commercial, civil society, and to earlier mentioned academia sector, has been continuously working to make water security and access to water of a global political priority. Water presence in all forms of life governs their survival. Our mission is to place water at the top of the global political agenda. Because let us keep in mind that water is politics. So that water security becomes a reality for everyone, everywhere, at every moment. So a lot has been achieved. Politically, for instance, rights to water and sanitation were recognized by UN organs and technologically through many practical innovations. Water security, dear friends, remains more than ever the challenge of the 21st century. It's not just one sustainable development global goal among others. It has a central role to play in achieving the 2030 agenda. Water's transversality is apparent in each one of the 17 sustainable development goals. It's connected to energy, to food, to health, to education. Therefore, without putting water at the center of all efforts and treating water security and sanitation as a global priority, this ambitious agenda will certainly not be achieved before it's due. In the context of growing population, the Earth is now home to 7.8 billion people, and the old of 8 billion is likely to be crossed in the first month of 2023, coupled with climate evolution, which will make water scarcer and more unpredictable. The demand for water will rise at the global level and will become even more exacerbated in water-stressed arid regions. In arid regions, the water security concerns nearly 2 billion people, living mainly at the crossroads of Africa, Middle East, and the Indo-Pakistani subcontinent. How can we ensure water security under these circumstances? Our efforts must aim at equalizing the demand for water and its supply, meaning producing more water while consuming less. On one hand, by diversifying and increasing water resources through pumping deeper when necessary, transferring water over long distance, desalinating water, and considering wastewater as a new source, improved wastewater treatment and reuse. On the other hand, by avoiding misuse of water and rationalizing its consumption at each level, from individual through domestic to industrial and mainly agriculture use. Today, agriculture is the largest consumer of water in the world, using 70% of fresh water for irrigation. And so it needs to protect and restoring water resource and using modern environment friendly technologies to prevent leakage. Absence of water leads to death. Entire regions and continents suffered from droughts in the past. It's not something new in the human history. But what is new that due to climate evolution caused by human misbehavior and mistakes, the number of water stressed and arid regions will probably increase. Forecasts are rather pessimistic. It's not easy to resist them. However, I would point out that the aridity as a condition of some countries, part of their everyday reality, push them and their experts to come up with the new solutions and technologies. In some way, they managed to convert the weakness into advantage, propelling them as leaders with some of most advanced techniques, such as wastewater reuse and desalination of seawater, in which Arabia Saudi played a historical key role. And I'm deeply convinced that in the future, new techniques like wastewater treatment and reuse represent an important additional source of water based on circular water management. Nowadays, 80% of used water is released into the environment without treatment. This water is lost forever. More, it's a source of pollution. Society must consider saving water in water as a virtual and civic obligation. Our consumption of water, the most precious natural resource to cherish, a common good, must be wise and conscious. But if we must secure water for humans, we must at the same time secure water for nature. We must have the wisdom not to use all of our resources right away. We need to secure them for tomorrow, for future generations. We need to preserve nature and ecosystems that have an incredible capacity to adapt and mitigate impacts of ongoing climate evolution. And we also need to continue progressing in the implementation of right to water and sanitation. The World Water Council, also through organizing the World Water Forum, it has contributed largely to making water and water security a global political priority. Next World Water Forum will be held in Dakar in March 2022. Water security is one of its core main priorities, along with rural development, cooperation, and finance and innovation. You are all, with no exception, welcome to contribute to shaping the future of our planet. Join us on the road to Dakar. Thank you.